Leo, good evening, my friend. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just checking something. And then I'm gonna start. Okay, that didn't kind of work. I'm gonna share my screen in 2 seconds. Hello to you as well, my friend. 2 secondos. Hey, that's cool. What did I want to do? Yeah. Okay, let's do this. I'm just gonna... Oh, that's not what I wanted. Give me 2 seconds. This pop-out chat. I guess I want to put this fella over here. Yes, yeah. Yeah, this is I've been standing for so long lately. I have pain in my foot. So I'm just trying to recover it now for a couple of days. I'm basically standing like 7 hours a day or whatever, so I have a slight pain in my right foot. So yeah, this is my other chair that I have here. So sometimes I kind of sit on it, right? Very rare, but when I'm kind of... High Spectra, oh my god. Here is Kirill back in action. Cheers, man. Good to see you around again. Okay, so yesterday I basically skipped the stream. I was incredibly exhausted. I was really tired yesterday, so I fell asleep for like 2.5 hours after I came back from work, and then I kind of, yeah, and I did some work in the evening. I fixed some bugs in the platform. I found some bugs. I fixed those. I basically just generated 2 articles in production on ChatGPT. So I just took my Abo, good day. Let me just make sure I have multi-stream maybe here so I can read the people who... So I generated those 2 articles by ChatGPT last night just from my transcript from the video. If you remember what I did, basically, I went to my video, right? And then I used that ChatGPT plugin. So what I did, I went to my videos, right? I clicked this transcript stuff. I copy pasted this into AI, right? And then I went to ChatGPT and I said, hey, ChatGPT, please generate technical articles for my video based on my transcript in my own words. And then basically those 2 things, I didn't really write them myself manually. I just gave it transcript from my video. David, my friend, good evening. So basically that's how those 2 articles were made. They were just generated. I mean, yeah, Leo, to an extent. I'm not really a fan of that sort of stuff. I think there is something personal about reading articles written by real people, right? Whatsoever, to my defense, right, it did kind of generate it in my words, right? So I told it, please use my vocabulary, right? So it did kind of use it, right? So to my defense, it's not generic completely, right? I think it did kind of generate it. It did generate it, yeah. Give me just 1 second. My mom is writing to me. I'm just gonna try to send her the link. She's asking me how I am, but then, yeah. Give me 2 seconds. All right, great. So okay, so back to coding, right? So today we're gonna be obviously hacking the courses feature. Yeah, last night again I didn't stream, as some of you may have noticed, right? So, but I did fix some bugs. Chini, good evening, my friend. So I did fix some bugs last night, and that was pretty okay, right? That was fine. So let's now kind of go and let's continue with that front end, right? So we've been doing that front end stuff, right? So let's go this courses, right? Let's see where we stopped. I already found a new bug. Good, man. Good. We're gonna fix all the bugs. Did you report it, Chica? Did you report the bug? Just writing. Nice. Give me 1 second. Okay, so yeah. So let's start hacking, right? Let's go and hack. What I'm actually going to do, I'm just gonna create one more desktop here, right? And then I'm gonna go here, and then I'm gonna go move this fella to a new desktop. It's kind of ruining my stuff here. Are you happy with the things that are going right now? Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, if I'm not happy, I wouldn't be doing it, right? I mean, this is something I do for fun, right? So if it's not fun, I wouldn't be doing it, right? There's, you know, 7 billion things that I can do apart from writing after. Right, David. So it would not make sense to do something that I'm not enjoying, right? I would not do that, right? And of course, yeah, not every day is the same, but you know, there's no constant, right? Nothing in life is that constant. Not everything is fun all the time, equally, right? But of course I'm happy, of course. As long as we're building platform and people are signing up, and people are signing up almost every day, right? Then of course I'm happy, right? Of course I'm happy, right? Alright, so if we go basically, so this is our diagram, right? So what we actually started doing last time was the courses, right? And we built the API and all of that stuff. So now we're gonna actually go to the dashboard, and we're gonna be building basically stuff here, right? So let's kind of go to Tailwind UI and let's steal some of that user interface that I found that I actually liked. And I think the interface was in here, so I like this kind of sidebar thing, right? So how do I do that? Download live preview, right? So I guess we could download this because I paid for this already. So so let's yeah, let's, I guess, syntax that we have, is this a compressed file? It is. Okay, so let's extract this stuff, right? And yeah, so let's extract it. And where did I extract it? Seriously, Jesus Christ, man, are you kidding me, right? Where did I? Here. Okay, Tailwind syntax. So let's kind of open this up in let's open this with VS Code, right? Great. Okay, so we're gonna move this to our front end here, and we'll just copy paste some stuff from it, and then we can close this directory, right? So let's go to source, I guess. Navigation. It's my server, it's my Raspberry Pi cluster, and my router. I have a enterprise grade router here. I'm not using my internet service provider router. I have my own MikroTik router because you know, I'm exposing stuff online and stuff. Namari, good evening. So I have, like, my router has 16 cores, right? So well, okay, actually, Namari, good evening. I don't know if I actually said good evening. I forgot in 3 seconds. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So we want to kind of steal part of this UI here, right? And we will do that. Well, not steal. I mean, I bought this crap, right? So it's yeah. And Arcadia, good evening, friend. All right, so it is this, right? So if we actually go to that piece of code that we just opened, right? So this is that component, kinda, right? This is that component, right? Yeah. So this is that layout, right? Vanya, thank you very much. Yeah, so yeah. All right. And let me just see, I guess they're looping through some JSON, right? Yeah, so they have this. Okay, perfect. That's literally what we need, right? That's great, right? So let's, so if we go to our dashboard, right? So let's close the production there. So if we go over here, right? This is going to be our kind of courses dashboard, right? And this here, you're going to be creating your courses So yeah, so before we actually get to that point, we need to kind of, okay, so, all right, so let's start a bit slower here, right? So let's close this. We're not there yet, right? We're not there yet, right? Yeah, so this is basically the courses view, but we need to create so we need to go to views, I guess, dashboard, right? And create courses here, right? And then we're gonna say courses JS shit, should be plural, not singular. Index.jsx, right? And then yeah, so export all from shit, wrong place. Export all from, yeah. And then here we're gonna now start building that dashboard, right? So we're gonna say export const courses. And yeah, let's just say here hi. So if I go somewhere, I guess over here, yeah. Here we will want to render that courses stuff, right? Courses, views, courses. Yeah, I guess this one, right? No, not really. No, that's wrong. That's the wrong import. This should be courses from within the dashboard. Yeah, okay, great. All right, cool. So now if we go here, we should say hi, and we're kind of ready to start. So, okay, so first and foremost, let's, so yeah, the API is built and stuff. So now we have to kind of do some of the other stuff, right? So, okay. So first, like when you come to this view, I guess now, so let's actually go to our draw.io, right? So we need to kind of be careful here. So if we get one of those guys, right, here, right, and we zoom a bit. So if this view is empty, right, so I guess first thing that you want to see, right, is like that call to action thing, you know, and maybe it can say it seems you haven't written any courses yet. Create your first course or something like that. Create your first course now, right? So we need that kind of call to action stuff over here, right? So okay, so how did I call that component? I know that we have that component core. Yeah, call to action. Yeah, okay. So we do have call to action, but yeah, so we need a bit more here before we get there. So let's use effect, right? And so if we get over here, right? So we have this get courses, right? And we also have, yeah. So we're gonna actually get this one here, but for the dashboard itself, we'll need to go back to the API, I think, and see, did we actually implement like get courses by author, right? Because we need to get the courses that we wrote, right? So I don't think that we've implemented that endpoint yet, right? So we'll maybe need to do that, and we're not going to be using any Redux or any state machine for any of this. I don't think we need any global state here. And then we're gonna do this, right? So we're gonna try to get your existing courses if you have any, right? And then eventually somewhere here in the view, we're gonna say if the courses dot length is 0, right? Or if it's not a positive number, here we wanna return this call to action, right? And we can find how I'm using that call to action in other places, right? Like here, for example, right? So we can kind of, right, that's why I said we have a lot of components now. So, and then here we can use a book or something, book icon or something, and then on click we're gonna say here, you know, for now, create course, right? And then here you can say it seems that you haven't created any course yet. Create your first course now. Okay, well, pretty much that, right? Let's now go to the so we got this now, and that's great, right? So you come to your courses, you haven't created one, we tell you, hey, you know, create one, and let's actually create course, right? We'll think about this copy later. It's irrelevant, right? And now what we need to do is let's go over here. Let's go to our Swagger, right? And let's take a look. Like, do we have an endpoint for getting a courses by author, right? Because we need to get a course by author, right? So where's the courses? Courses. Ah, shit, sorry, I'm not on the right branch. So let's say git checkout, git check. Jesus. Ginov, thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Thank you very much for the follow. Okay, so now we're on the right branch, I think. Okay, why is it not rendering my Swagger? It's kind of strange. Let's try that again. Yeah, okay. I don't know what happened. And it keeps opening this on a completely wrong screen. Alright, so thank you very much, Chica. I'm gonna take a look at it a bit later. Thanks a lot. Okay, so let's see what we have. So we have get courses, and this is getting a single course, right? But it doesn't seem that we have, so this is also getting all course. So we can see that we're gonna still need probably a few more endpoints over time, right? We're gonna need like give me courses by tag or by technology. So hey, give me courses by, give me all the JavaScript courses or all the Rust courses, right? But we will be implementing that gradually, right? Because, you know, once, even if I finish this feature now entirely, there's not going to be any courses, right? So I'm going to have to start creating some courses, then hopefully some other people. So I'm not worried about, you know, nailing all of those endpoints. Okay. But anyway, what we do need now, right, is an endpoint for getting a course by ID, right? So we're going to go to courses controller, get courses, right? And then we'll basically duplicate this fella. We can either duplicate it or we can try to use the same endpoint to do, right? Okay, and then here, let's say get courses by. Now we could have a singular get courses method that we can just pass query parameters to, and then maybe we could do that, right? Maybe we could do that, right? Maybe we could have a single get courses thing that, you know, if you don't provide any query parameters, it always returns all of them, right? Leo, I hope so, really. But I'm, before anything, building it for myself first, to be honest, because I also need it. Because I would like to have some nice way to organize the course, and right. So I agree. I mean, I will put my you know, money where my mouth is, because I'm gonna be the first one who's gonna actually truly use it, right? So actually, so when I think about it, so you know, we can now end up having 15 different get courses method. We're gonna need to get a course by author. We're gonna need to get a course by. So let's kind of try to utilize a bit of help from our good friend ChatGPT, right? So let's try to find that very old organization, very old discussion that I had with it, right? So how did I call it? Something like courses, right? Yeah, so I guess it's somewhere down. Show more. Courses feature research. Here it is, right? Extend this endpoint so it takes query parameters, and so it allows me to query courses by author, etc. Let's see if we can. Okay, let's see what it did. Then we can review it, right? So basically it constructs a query, right? It's like a query builder, right? So we have an empty where clause, and then we say, you know, include those by default. If there's an author provided in the query parameters, right? In the URL in the query parameters, right? Then where query is equal to author. I mean, this could work, right? This could technically work, right? Yeah, this could potentially work, right? Let's give it a shot. Why not, right? So let's go to our API and let's replace this. I don't like the code too much because simply because it's a bit too imperative for me, but we can change it a bit if we want, right? So let's give it a shot. Yeah, well, let's see if it works. Let's go to the front end, right? I don't actually know. It could work, but I'm not quite sure, right? Update the AJV schema as well with the new changes. Yeah, but are we really getting this stuff, right? No, I don't think so. If rating... Ah, I see. So basically this is like, give me courses by a specific rating as well, right? Okay, I see. So this query basically accepts the rating and author, right? And then we can query, give me all courses with a grade, with a rating of 5, right? That's okay, right? Sure. It's just yeah, give me 1 second, right? Because I'm right now I'm using like so let's start a new chat, right? Thank you very much for Icarus. Thank you very much, man. Given my given my Fastify JS controller with the Sequelize JS, please write an AJV schema that corresponds to this. Actually, I don't think it's gonna be able to do this now because it doesn't really. Yeah, but actually, sure. So query is pretty much what we need. I think that's pretty much what we changed, right? I guess. So let's kind of extend. Let's try that, right? Batola 19, thank you very much, man. So let's go back to our API. So let's go to router, right? And say get courses. Get courses. So here we have to kind of go to the schema, right? And say, hey, so this is get courses schema. We have 200 here. So we now essentially have to extend this with query, right? Saying, hey, this now takes some query parameters, right? Okay. So let's try that. So let's go to our Thunder client here, right? And let's add this to a collection, right? So we can go to our collections and let's go to courses. And then somewhere we have get courses, right? So technically now, well, first thing we're gonna need a new JSON web token from our browser, right? Because we need to be authenticated. So let's grab that, right? So let's go to session. Let's go to cookies and let's grab it, right? And then let's go to headers, HTTP headers, right? We're gonna say, actually, I don't think you need to be authorized to get the courses, if I recall. Yeah, actually, that's good, but we need to first create some courses and then we need to try to get them, right? So let's go to Thunder client let's replace this cookie header. So let's replace the JSON web token with a new one, and let's try to create a few courses, right? So here I'm gonna create 5 courses, and I'm the author. So let's try to get them, and I just get all of them, right? Well, technically, now I would need to log in with another user and create another course, right? But now we have this. What happens now if we say query and then we say author is equal to foo? Course ID must be integer. We're actually missing a question mark, right? So we can see kind of that we got nothing, right? But if I say, what's my username now? AGJ, yes, no, I think it's Alexander, right? Yeah, not quite, right? Let's see if that actually works. So what's my username? Alexander, right? Yeah. And let's, so we did create some courses. Let's go over here. Where was the controller? Here, right? So we say author, right? Course author dot username is author. And what was the schema again for it? What did we? Author type string. Yeah. So it is basically an integer, right? So technically this should return author is equal. Yeah, this should technically return something if this query worked, right? But I don't think it does, right? Let's try. Let's ask our buddy here, right, if this is fine. Is everything fine with this? I don't think we didn't prime the AI, so we gave it very little context. I don't think that it's gonna be. And Jesus Christ, man, is this, which version of crap is this? 3.5 again. Why does it keep? Hey Alex as well. Good to have you here, man. Okay, let's see what that guy says. Let's kind of go back and keep trying to get this to work. So yeah, so Alexander. Actually, so there are no courses. Did I say? Okay, so there were no courses, right? So course, okay. So now we get all of them. Let's now try author Alexander. Okay. No, wait. Yeah, I think there's something here that's restarting my artificial general JavaScripter. Yeah. Okay, so I think it does work, right? There's something restarting my server. I think shit, my bad. Sorry. Courses, query parameter, author. Is something restarting my server is the question. So we have what? We have 2 courses now, right? Try this. Give me 2 seconds. So let's try to rate the course. I have an idea, right? So what we can do. All right, so let's go over here. We're very far from pagination when it comes to courses. When that problem arises, if ever we're gonna add pagination. Right now, it's gonna take probably months until there's even 10 courses there, right? So we're gonna think about those things when or if they ever come, right? What did I want to do? So I wanted to create a. So let's create a course, right? Let's create a course. Let's create 5 courses and then let's rate them, right? So I'm gonna go and say, hey, add a rating to a course of ID 1 and rate it with stars of 2. And maybe I have just changed. Give me just 1 second. Let's see what's happening here. That was a funny thing. Like, I think Jace is heavily influenced by me, which is, I think, for the most part good. Am I running NodeMon or something? Yeah, I am running NodeMon. Okay. Okay. So do I have some NodeMon file? I think wait, I think I know. So Thunder client NodeMon. I think every time something happens with so wait a minute. NodeMon ignore directory, right? We need to. I think that every time I yeah, let's try this, right? Let's try that, right? So somewhere, I guess, over here, we can just say this, right? And what do I want to ignore? I want to ignore Thunder tests, right? Because I just feel that whenever this Thunder stuff changes, our server restarts, which is super dumb, right? Let's try that again. So do this, get courses, slash question mark author, you know, Alexander. Jesus Christ, dude, what the hell? Did it restart? Like, it literally keeps restarting. Jesus Christ, man. Like, okay, so we need a wild card, right? Thank you very much for the follow, Comb. Let me go. Where was I? Package JSON, right? Yeah, so maybe that's not sufficient. Maybe I can't just ignore the directory. Let's see, Thunder client. Yeah. So let's just say slash dot, you know, JSON. Is that also how they had it, right? Jesus Christ, man. How hard is it? It's just a silly thing, but I've noticed this last time. Like every time that one of those things errors out, it saves something in the file as like almost like a caching it, almost like, yeah. And then since those files change, the NodeMon just restarts, and then whenever it restarts, my file, my faker stuff is regenerated, right? So it's very annoying. It's like just dumb like hell. Create courses, get courses. So now I'm getting them, right? Let's say foo, try to find them by foo, try to find them by Alexander. Okay, good, right? So we can see that actually this works. Let's just test the last thing, which is adding the ratings, right? So let's go to our Swagger, and I think where are the ratings? Like, how do we add post v1 ratings? I see. Okay, so that's how I used to do it. So let's so we actually don't need this. So I wanna rate a course which ID is 1, and I wanna rate it with 2 stars. And I wanna do the same with the second course, right? So now I'm gonna try to get the courses by rating, where rating is 2 stars, right? And if we actually go to the controller, is that how we implemented it? Rating. we're getting bad request, which means Foxy Bowl, thank you very much, friend. Appreciate it. So let's go back here. And this is number. So let's try making this a string instead, right? Because it is a query parameter, so it's most likely. Okay, so let's create 5 courses again, and then 2 of them I'm gonna give a star of 2, and then I'm gonna try to query them by amount of stars again. We're still getting bad request, which, give me 2 seconds. So that kind of works, but if we try by what was it, rating 2? Yeah, so it doesn't like that, right? Let me just do one thing before we continue. So what I'm gonna actually do, I'm gonna make sure that my data doesn't regenerate every time I say it, right? Because that's slowing us down a bit now. So let's just comment that stuff out so it doesn't kind of annoy us, right? So get all courses, yes. So we can see 2 of the courses have the ratings, right? So that's great. Okay, so again, rating 2, and we're getting bad requests. All right, cool. Well, let's go and see why are we getting bad requests, right? So if we go to our error handler, right? Let's actually, we are, okay, so here it is. Okay, or is this what we are actually getting? Yeah, I think so. Column ratings.rating does not exist. I see. So basically something in here is wrong. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so give me 2 seconds. So if we go to our database view here and take a look at our database, and then we go to course author, lecture, rating. So if we go to, where is it? Rating. What does the rating has? Rateable ID. Maybe this is supposed to be like stars or something, right? So where's our stuff over here? So maybe ratings.stars, right? Maybe something like that, right? And there we go. So now we get all the courses, right? So now we get all the courses which have a rating of 2, right? Let's try to get 5 stars. There's none. 4 stars, 3 stars, 1 star. So, okay. Great, right? So now if we kind of go here and we add a few other ratings, to say mark this one as with 1 star, and then this one with 5 stars, right? And then if we get the courses again, so give me all the courses which have star 1, here it is. Give me another one with 5 stars, here it is. Right? Okay, great. So now we can go back to the UI, that's what we've been doing, right? Let's just make sure that our endpoint is updated here. So where is it? Get courses, yeah. So here it is, 4 of 4. And we can see that it optionally takes the query parameters, right? So that's the beauty of Swagger. But you can see we have the query parameters, author and rating. We can clearly see that they're optional, right? So they're not required. So that's really good. Awesome. Perfect. All right, let's go back here. So now we can technically get that, right? So here I can now say, all right, so when I come to this dashboard, to my view, right, I want to get my own courses, right? So let's hook into our Redux state, our Redux toolkit state. So let's say use a selector. What was it? Use selector, right? Yes. And then here we're gonna have a state, right? And what are we gonna return? We're gonna return. Let me just find some of those lines somewhere else, right? So I don't, yeah, something like this, right? Great. And we don't really need a whole user. Let's just be very selective here. So we're gonna say username, right? And then we're gonna say username of the logged in user for now. And then if we need more of the data from the store, we're gonna, get it when we need it, right? And then, yeah, basically pretty much what we want to do, we want to grab this in a template literal, right? And then want to say username, right? And then let's print some data in case there is any data. So now I'm trying to get the courses that I wrote, that I'm the author of, right? So if we go to our UI and we go to courses and we go to the network tab, we are failing a bit because we didn't construct the query properly, the URL, right? So it has to be courses and then query and then the question mark, and then the author is this. We're probably gonna create some service eventually for those sort of things, but we wanna minimize the abstractions for now so we don't lose the control, right? And as you can see, yeah, I got my 5 courses because I indeed created them, so it's working. So, and I'm getting the ratings and stuff, so those are technically my courses now, right? So that's all cool and great, right? Beautiful. Okay, of course, I'm gonna kind of nuke those now. Let's actually go to our database and let's just remove all the courses, because I want them now to be empty, right? Because we want to handle the empty state first, and then so let's just nuke all of those records, and then here we should be seeing this view again. Create your first course. Let's actually create your first course, right? Create your first course. Nice. Okay, great. We'll change this copy, right? But whatever, who cares? All right, let's go, right? So yeah. So essentially we need to move obviously some of this stuff from the view that we started building to actually to there, so that's fine. So we're gonna actually do that now. Let's close this fella, let's close that fella, right? And yeah, so we're gonna move this fella over here, and then we're gonna remove it from here. This will remain here. This use form we also have to move to our dashboard, right? So we're gonna move this fella over here as well. We'll import my custom hook, right? This is my custom hook. Yeah, so you will not be able to create kind of stuff from here, right? From within here. So we're gonna also move this stuff over here. What did I just cut? I don't remember. I see. Okay. And then let's just smack this fella somewhere around here. Now we don't actually need it, but I'll actually comment this stuff out because we need some of it, right? So we need to call handle create. So when you click this, we're gonna say, okay, start creating stuff. And for now, right, we're just gonna swap. We're just gonna show the creation screen of the courses, right? So what I'm actually gonna do, I'm gonna say somewhere around here. Let's just do it like this, right? We're gonna import, and yeah, we need to kind of move a bit of stuff around. So let me actually go to dashboard. Yeah, no, not really. So let me go to so I'm gonna actually move this stuff to our dashboard courses, right? So I'm actually gonna take this stuff and I'm gonna move it here, because we're gonna be performing all of this work, creation of courses, updating in the dashboard, not on the courses landing page, right? So I'm gonna move that stuff there, and then this kind of remains pretty much empty. Let's just so let's close this fella over here, and then let's import this create course, which is going to be relative to where we are right now, the directory, right? So that shouldn't be failing now, and it's not. Okay, so great. So now we're going to have this create course. So I'm going to say, hey, so if user is creating courses, just render the create course form. Otherwise, just loop through my courses, right, and render them, right? So I'm gonna say, hey, if it's creating a course, do this. Otherwise, let's just render some stuff here for now. Let's just say, you know, courses will render in here, right? Something like that, right? Okay. And then we're gonna add that as well in a second. So we'll pretty much, yeah. All right. So let's go over here. Let's see if we can actually start this working. Let's see if there's an error when I click this or some stuff. No. handle create. Oh, this is the submit handler. Sorry, my bad, right? So when I click on this button, right, we obviously want to say, you know, set is creating course true, right? Yeah. And then obviously, we need to, no, my bad. No, completely wrong. So this should be basically here. And then we should be saying handle create in here, right? Okay, great. So let's go over here. I guess that's why, right? Okay, let's try that again. So now we click it, right? And we get that form that we kind of tested before, right? So now we should actually, let's see what's happening. So now when I, yeah. So let's try creating one, our first course. Add this, it's free or premium, right? And then create. Did we actually create it? So yeah, so we did actually create that course, right? If we actually go to our API, right, and query again, we can see that that it's created in a database, and that's great, right? Okay. So good, right? So let's now render that thing again. As I said in the last stream, we're not going to be focusing too much here on the styling, right? Like how things look like, do they look amazing or not? For now, we pretty much just want to, we need to finalize functionality of this as soon as we can, right? So we're going to be focusing primarily on being effective when it comes to that, right? Yeah. So here is our first course, right? So now we're kind of starting somewhere. So when you come, I guess, to your dashboard, and let's add that loading state so we don't get this stuff, right? So let's say if is loading courses. We actually want to, let's go and just copy stuff. Didn't we have, yeah, so let's grab this fella and let's import our spinner, right? So if we come here now, we should get some sort of a spinner, and then this is our first course. Okay, great. Okay, cool. So the next thing basically is, so now we are here. So now you have some, you've created some course, right? So next thing essentially is, gonna be, let me just move this a bit. So we had some call to action, you just did something, right? So now there's some entity, right, created. So, you know, something like your first course, right? Now, when you click on this, right, we need to basically figure out what do we want to do, right? And probably what we actually want to do is we then want to show kind of similar layouts to how your course actually is going to look like. So here it's going to tell you basically like create a section. So if you don't have a section, it should create a section. And then once you create your first section, essentially, let me just take my pen here. Let me take my pen. Give me 1 second. Am I actually drawing? Yeah. All right, cool. So I guess we're going to have a sidebar, which is going to be empty. And then here we can show some empty state. We can say, you know, no lectures, right? Or something like that. We'll see in a second. So this is going to have some plus button here. You're going to create your first section, and that's going to go here. And then under each section that you create, so if, for example, you might say, okay, so basically now again, you have clicked on your course. It's taking you to the new page of to manage that course. And then if there's really no sections for the course, what is it that we want to do? Well, maybe... Let's try to figure this out together, right? So you're not going to have anything, right? So we can have a UI like this, where you have to create a section. Once you do, it appears somewhere around here. And then under the section, it says add lecture, right? So this guy here says add lecture, right? And then if you add another section here and here and here, under each of the sections, there's like a plus button to add a lecture to that specific section, right? Yeah. I guess something like that, right? Yeah, maybe something like that. Well, let's see. All right, so well, let's kind of start. Let's continue hacking. So if I go to the actual app, right? So now we need this route, right? So you have clicked on a single course, right? So we need to get inside of that course, right? And yeah, so essentially, yeah, we need, yeah. So we need something like this, right? There's gonna be dashboard slash courses, right? Slash course ID, right? And then here we're gonna say, you know, your course. Let's just hard code some text just so we can write, see if that works. Let's remove this template literal so it doesn't complain about that, right? And yeah, so let's go back here now, and yeah, when we click on this card, right, we want to navigate to that thing, right? So if we kind of so here we, I guess, need to say history is use history, right? Or use navigate, I guess that's in the React Router 6 or something, right? Navigate, I guess, right? And I guess here we have to say, right, navigate courses and then slash, I guess, ID, right? I actually have no idea, right? Let's see. Let's figure it out. I don't remember. Okay, I mean, yeah. This should be slash dashboard slash courses. And then actually I think here we're not passing the ID as a prop. So that's the problem, right? So let's get back here. Yeah, technically, yeah, that's how it is. Yeah, something like that, right? Yeah, so there we go, right? Yeah, that's correct. Yes, sure. Okay. So let's go. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so essentially let's now create some sort of a view, right? So if I go over here, right, we should be able to create courses. Well, let's create another nested views directory here. And let's say course. Big shot. Thank you very much, man. How many months that has been? Too many, I guess. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. So export all from /course, right? And then, yeah, let's go over here. Where were we? Where was that? Where did we put that thing? Yeah, over here, right? So here we can say just course, right? And no, not really, right? Potato chips, thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Laguosa, thank you very much, man. Thank you for this sub, dude. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, so we have this working, right? So now we just need to, that's why. Okay, so let's just say export const course, right? And let's just say, let's say here, you know, single course to view. And this is, in this stream, I think this is where most of the work is going to happen, right? Today, we're going to be spending then, you know, creating rest of the elements of that thing, right? So, okay, so let's go here and let's try importing the course again, right? 7 dreadfully long months. Fair enough, fair enough. All right, it is this one, exactly. Courses. Yeah, all right, cool. Great. What did I update here? Okay, good. So we're kind of getting somewhere, right? For sure. So let's go to our dashboard, right? Dashboard, courses. We have one. We click it, and then we go to that single course view. Beautiful, right? What is this? Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. Okay, great, right? Cool. We can close this thing. Let's just close up stuff that we don't really need. Don't need that. We don't need this anymore, I guess. It's fine for now. It's just it's taking us, right? Potato chips. Thank you, man. Like, glad that you enjoy it, and I agree. I think it is. I think it's an entertainment, I guess, that it's both, I guess, fun, I hope, and also educational from time to time, right? So certainly at least more value for some than watching somebody defusing a bomb in the last 3 minutes of the movie, right? Sometimes at least, right? Okay, great. So now we are in this single course view, right? And this is where we now have to do this other stuff. So now you have created a course. You go into it, right? Probably also let's kind of do one thing, right? So let's go back here, right? And actually when you create a course, right, instead of you kind of do this, right? So you create a course, so you create a course, right? And then finally we say, hey, it's no longer kind of creating. So here we can also say, you know, navigate, right? So let's import use navigate here. So what I'm trying to say, when you create a new course, let's redirect the user to that course so user can continue building sections, lectures and stuff like that, right? So let's kind of get somewhere where, I don't know, when I see it, I will know. I think I had some idea of something, and I think it was a solid idea. I just don't remember where it was. Components, yes, here, yeah. So we're gonna do this, right? We're gonna import the same fella in the courses, right? We're gonna auto import use navigate, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna pretty much do the same thing that we did here, just programmatically in a way, right? So we're gonna say, hey, when you create a course, you know, wait for that, and then when the course is created, when the created entity from the database is returned, take the ID, and then navigate to that view, right? So that's what we're gonna do here. So technically this is correct, right? And then finally, now of course we don't want to do this in the finally, because this always happens even if there's an error. So if the error happens, we can't redirect the user to, right? So in this circumstance here, right, we don't really even need to do this necessarily, but let's do it, and then let's navigate, right, to created.id. Yeah, I think so, something like that, right? So if we go back to my courses, right, we don't really have a, so, but let's remove this entity from the database, right? Where is it? So let's remove this single course we've created, right? So let's go back, let's refresh. So let's create our first course, cool. free create course. And then as you can see now it redirects us, so it was created, we got all good from the API, right? And now we essentially redirect to the single view, right? So now you continue, right? There's no point showing you that entity and then you clicking on it, even though that's questionable, right? From the UX perspective, maybe some UX designer would disagree, right? But luckily I'm the UXer and a PM and a CTO and a CEO here, so I cannot disagree with myself. And you know, just so we are kind of good obeying citizens, let's not leave those things like this. This is disgusting, right? So let's use our toaster or something at the very least, right? And let's not leave those things undone, right? So here we're gonna say, you know, handle create. So let's say here toast. I think we have our own abstraction of toast, don't we? Yeah. Dot error. And let's see if this guy can actually, if what is it called? GitHub Copilot can be a bit more useful. Oh, what a stupid error! No, we couldn't create your course. Please try again. Please try again. We'll revisit all of those things later. It's better to have something than to you know. And let's do this. Thank you very much for the follow. Diaz, I don't know if I can. We could not. Let's use the power of AI. We could not fetch your courses. Please try again. Great. Okay, good. So at the very least, we don't have. We're not printing some useless errors, right? Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay. Okay. So now we end up here, right? And let's make sure that we pass the state, right? So the thing is, you want to try to, so for example, the way that we've done this now, right? We indeed navigate when we create whatsoever. What we don't do, we're not passing any state along, right? So the problem now with this is that, of course, we're going to have to implement here, you know, some sort of a fetch. So when you get to this point, we fetch the course. But once the course is created, what we actually really want to do is we want to use the state here, right? So we want to say state, right? And we want to pass along the course, right? So now when I end up redirected in this state, we're going to be able to access that course that we passed. So we don't really need to fetch it again. You only want to refetch it if a user directly comes to this link, because in that case, there wouldn't be, the course would not be in the history, in the HTML5 history API, right? So in this sense, right, we wanna how many weekly stand-up you have at Program Networks? Zero. Okay, so now we pass this along, right? And yeah. Yeah, so now we pass that course along, so we're gonna pass some information, right? And let me see how I did it here. Harry Swat, thank you very much, man, appreciate it. Location state, okay. And where am I passing this? I genuinely don't remember. Get location state. Yeah, location. Yeah, I guess we're gonna get it from location, right? Yeah, location state. Yep, there we go. And if you don't know how this works, right, in the React router, right, this is no magic or anything like that, right? I highly advise you to take a look at the HTML5 history API, right? Which is fairly simple, right? So if you want to know how all of this stuff works in any router, Angular, Vue.js, React, it really utilizes the history API. So it doesn't really, it just abstracts it, right? So it doesn't do any more magic, because with the history API, right, you can see you can actually pass the state, right, as well, right, alongside. And basically this API is responsible for, you can see here when I right click, I have this history of the previous pages that I came from, so you can go back and forth. So that's how most of those routers are built. React router, Angular, whatever, right? All of them are utilizing the same API, right? Okay, so now when we actually end up here, and if we print this location, right, we should be able to see that that state that we passed along, right? So let's go back actually here, right? So now if we see if we take a look at this, right? So I go here, you can kind of see that we are at least seeing that location, but we're not seeing actually anything, which is a bit strange. So state is kind of null, right? So let's see why. Oh, of course, why? Because because we just did this on created, right? But we're not passing it along when you actually click on a course, right? That's why. So let's see where that is. Yeah, so essentially over here, right, when we click, we're not passing that course, right? So so let's kind of destructure this here. So const, yeah, props, right? And then what I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to pass those props, right? So so we're going to say here, you know, state course props, right? Great. Okay. So if we get back here now and we check our console again, right? We can see actually now, hopefully, no, not yet, okay? Give me a second. Okay. I would honestly expect it to be there now. Ah, it is there now. Okay, it is there now. All good. So here is the state, right? So for some reason, yeah, but we need to, okay, sure, fine. All good, right? So if I go back here and we go here again, we can actually, we see the state at one point, right? Course, description, ID, and title. And then it gets overwritten or whatever by something. But okay, that's good. So let's get back here and let's start utilizing this, right? So when I end up here, right, we're gonna say, and let's set this state, right? So we're gonna say use effect, and then we're gonna say something like location.state, and then we will need to fetch this at one point as well, because again, this history APIs, this cached state is only gonna work if you click on an item. And then you carry over that state. But if a user directly accesses this URL directly in the browser, obviously this is going to be null. And in those circumstances, you have to fetch this from the API. So we're trying to utilize the cache here now. But of course, we'll have to implement a side effect to actually... We're going to have a side effect here. It's going to say, if location state is null, then fetch the stuff from the database, right? So that's pretty much what's gonna happen, right? Let me just investigate here a bit. Location state null, sure. And we can see location right? So we're just gonna set this, we're gonna have here like, we're gonna say const, what is it called? Course, set course, right, is use state. And no, we will not have it as null, right? Even though we actually could, but yeah. So here we're gonna say, you know, if location state, if there's no location state, then obviously just return. Otherwise, you know, say, let me actually just double check. So is it location? Yeah, dot course, okay. And then we're gonna say set course, right? Location state course, yeah. Then we're gonna also say const, and because we're gonna incorporate here also the fetch to the database is loading course, set is loading course, right? And then we're gonna say here, yeah, it's gonna be true by default, right? Do you know why is var x? I'm not sure what do you mean deprecated. I don't know, it's not deprecated. What do you mean? Let's actually go to courses. Let's grab this as well. It's going to be pretty much the same, right? Loading course. It's not deprecated. It's never going to be deprecated, no. And var has its place in programming still. So the reason why you don't use var in general is because it's not block scoped, right? So both let and const are block scoped. In ES6, when the ECMAScript 6 came out, for the first time ever in JavaScript, we got let and const, which enabled us to declare them per block. And var is global, right? So var still has its use cases and it can be useful, so you should still be using it. And that primarily means if you want to make it global, because var always hoists on top of the scope itself, right? On top of the global scope, right? Exactly, yes. So it's really all about variable hoisting in that context, right? And how it works, right? So when you declare, when you say something like, right? Yep. Berserker, good evening, buddy. Jador, good evening, guys. It's not deprecated. It's never going to be deprecated. var is still heavily used, right? So whoever told you those things is very wrong. It's very wrong. Very, very wrong. So let's just kind of keep kind of building stuff just so functionality and stuff. And then at the end of the, in a few days when we end this feature, right, we're gonna... Okay, good. So we're kind of getting that. Am I using latex? No, I'm not. Description. Okay, great. So now we're kind of okay. So we're passing this through History API. Kay, thank you very much, man. Appreciate the follow. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Okay, so cool, right? So now we need to start incorporating other stuff, right? So and this is now we need to figure out from the UI perspective, or to say UX perspective, how it is that we want to do it, right? So let's move to, so right, so you've clicked on the course, right? Now you end up somewhere around here, right? And so now we are at the place where we have to so now we have to figure out is like, how do we really want to do this, right? So yeah, that's a bit annoying, right? You cannot deprecate a feature. Like, you know, you have to understand that JavaScript always has to be backwards compatible, right? So there's no such thing as deprecate. You cannot deprecate a feature in an interpreted language that's running in users' browsers, right? Like 98% of the internet is using var, right? Or 99.7% of websites are still using var, right? So you cannot obsolete that, right? What you do instead, you introduce other means of other tools, right? So var, let and const are just other tools that you should, in many circumstances, use over var. But it doesn't mean that var is useless. var has its place. It's very rare that you want to use var, even if you want to make things global, and it's very religious, right? It's very religious. Some very religious people still use var. We don't really write. We are writing modules now in the modern JavaScript. In the modern applications, we're not really working with global scopes anymore as we used to before. So technically, we're always scoped to the module itself, to some sort of module or whatever, to some function, right? But yeah, it's true that you're going to be using let and const for the most part, but it's not to say that var is going to be gone or that var is useless. That's not true, right? Right. Because just in case that you don't know, right? So let me show you just because it's an interesting question, and if you're not an expert in JavaScript, I think I am. I've been teaching JavaScript for 5 years, right? So I had to learn those things. Let me show you one thing. So if you say something like this, for let I 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. Let's write this very imperative stuff, right? Right, so we say something like this, right? If I try to console log, I here, right? If I try to console log I outside of the for loop, we're gonna get the error, reference error, I is not defined, right? Now, if I turn this into var, right? We're gonna get that I is 5, right? Exactly, yes. So you can see now that we're getting the i's 5, right? And the reason why we're getting that, right, is because this now is gonna hoist to the top of the scope in which it's declared, right? And the scope is a global scope now. So it's basically this is global to this context in which we are in, right? Now, of course, if this loop was inside of a function, right, function foo, right, then this I would hoist to the top of it. This is now the scope of I, right? So obviously now if I try to print I, right? So actually if we go ahead and say foo, right? So obviously now it's gonna tell me, hey, I is not defined, right? But if I go inside of this function and print the I is gonna be 5, right? So that is the crucial difference, right? Is that the var, we're not leaking those values. So now we're block scoped, which means you define your variables are declared in between the blocks, and that's where they're scoped, that's where they're accessible, right? And if you wanted to make the variable kind of global to its context or its scope, then you would have to declare it on top. So for example, if I wanted this let here to be available to the whole function and not just this thing, I would have to say here let I 0, and then I would say here, you know, I la la la, right? So that is the difference, right? So if you want this behavior like with var, where it's then accessible outside, and you want that sometimes, right? It's just writing code like that is a bit confusing, right? Okay, let's go back to this. Okay, so now actually we are at the point. So basically, let me just do one thing, right? So now technically we are at the point. Give me 1 second, actually. No, let's try that again. So if we grab this fella over here, right? And we get it here, somewhere here, hopefully. So this is where we are now. So what I'm thinking, right, is that we kind of try to replicate that layout that we have in that low fidelity stuff. So basically what I'm thinking now is that we try to represent this sort of menu here. But then just so we can guide the user or ourselves on how when we are creating the rest of the stuff, sections, la la la. So where was this thing, right? So what I want to do now, right, is have something like this, and then here now create first section, and then some sort of a, give me 1 second. Yeah, so if we get here now, it's gonna be like a plus, right? And then when you create a section, under the section itself is basically a button that says create first, create first lecture or something. So let's try something like that, right? But before we do that, right, we need to go then, and where was that? So let's open that project that we opened recently, right? Or actually at the start of this stream. Didn't we open, didn't I download some stuff, right? Yeah, this thing, right? So we opened this with VS Code, right? And we try to steal some of this stuff, right? Didn't I yeah, great, here it is, right? I actually literally think it's this thing. Wait a minute, I think I literally think this is the only thing we kind of need, right? So that, and then this is this navigation that they have, right? Ah, this is Next.js, shit. Well, okay, it doesn't really matter, right? But okay, okay, so let's actually not go that complex. Let's build it ourselves and then maybe off stream or whatever. So let's do it just my way, right? So we have that stuff here, and then yeah, I just don't want to be wasting time now on that crap, right? So it's absolutely relevant, right? So let's come here and let's create another kind of div, and then in there we're gonna have a side or something like that, right? And here we can say, and we're gonna have something like, you know, class name flex, justify between, right, or whatever. Then we're gonna have a sidebar and some div. Let's just put some 50 characters in there, right? And here we can say ul li by, you know, 10, you know, anchor tag lorem2, right? Something like this. And then, yeah, just you know, just to kind of, yeah, just to have some boilerplate, right? Let's see. So yeah, something like this, right? So we're gonna say, you know, gap 4 or something, right? So we are a bit, yeah. And then here I'm gonna ask you, hey, create your first la la la. Let's say here item start, and then let's say here class name mb12 or whatever, just so we have a bit of space, right? Okay, great, right? Okay, so now if we go actually to our Swagger, now it's time to start interacting with some other endpoints, right? So if we go down to courses, right? Let me just close this crap. So get sections by course, exactly. So this is now next thing that we need. So when I land, right, on, or even better, let's see what do we get here. So I get it. So this is just getting me a single course, right? But then this gets me the sections. And then this gets me the lectures for each section, right? So essentially I can already see that we will need to kind of create an endpoint just for this dashboard, right? So we essentially get all the sections and then all the lectures associated with each of the sections, right? Because right now we would need to get every section and then queried, right? So yeah, that's not... But maybe that's okay, right? So course ID sections. Okay, so... it doesn't seem actually that we have... Okay, so let's go to ChatGPT again, right? Let's search down for courses research or something, right? Yeah. Write a controller that gets the course by ID and all of the courses sections and all the lectures associated to each section. All right, let's see here. So we obviously have we obviously gonna have so we have a get course by ID, right? But what this actually returns is just kind of metadata or the course itself, right? So we need. Oh my God, Complex is here. What is happening? Oh man, I love you. So guys, Complex is one of my first viewers, and thank you for coming by, man. You made my day. Thanks, man. I'm happy to see you're still around. I appreciate it, man. I hope everything's fine. I have to buy something from this for my son. I'm gonna say it's Complex that gave you this. It's Complex that gave you this. I hope everything's good, man. I hope work is good. So actually, no, I think this is, no, I think we're good actually. So, yeah, I think we'll literally, I mean, yeah, I think, yeah. I think the only thing we really need with the existing stuff we have is, so wait, so the only thing, so here we're actually, I'm already doing some joins, right? So the only thing that I'm actually not joining is the sections and lectures, right? So I'm actually gonna do that and we're good, right? So let's do this. But that's actually fine, right? So that should be, I think, pretty fine. Let's just restart this. The only thing now that we really need to do is probably the latter. Probably the latter. So we're doing shit tons of joins here. Of course, we're doing like 1, 2, 3, 4 joins, but it's okay, right? It's just a single entity, so it's not bad. It's just a single entity, right? So that's good. Now, the thing is, I mean, Leo, right? I don't know what to say without sounding an asshole, right? But developers community is very childish, right? And generally, shit, my camera is shaking, I think. This whole community is very childish, right? And people enjoy to talk crap and to write. So just use common sense, right? And that's really there's no such thing as good or bad in that sense, right? We keep getting new tools, right? And some of them are kind of suggested to be used, right? And stuff. I mean, Kyle Simpson, for example, he wrote 7 books on JavaScript. He wrote a series of books called You Don't Know JavaScript, right? And if you take a look at his repositories, for example, if you take a look at, so for example, let me show you if anything, right? Kyle Simpson has earned his space in the JavaScript community. So if we go to Gatify GitHub, I think that's his. So if we go to his GitHub profile, right? So this guy, as you can see, he has 40,000 followers. If we're talking about those so-called influencers and gods of whatever, right? So this guy is probably the most influential guy in the whole JS community. You can see that his book has 167,000 stars, right? If you take a look at his open source work, right? So for example, let's say you take a look at something like let's find some code that he wrote, right? So if we take a look at some of his code, right? Well, he's the most influential person in the JavaScript community, right? He wrote You Don't Know JavaScript. Those are the best series of JavaScript books that there is, right? So if we, for example, take a look at his wordly game, right? So this is like a little word game that he wrote, right? And if we take a look at some JavaScript that he wrote, right, he doesn't use any frameworks, he just writes plain JavaScript, right? So you can see he uses var a lot, right? So he uses var here, and he uses it a lot, right? All over the place. Now, okay, what am I saying with this? Well, I'm not saying that you should blindly follow anyone. Quite contrary, I'm saying this guy is the most influential person ever after maybe, you know, Brandon guy who invented JavaScript, and he's using var, right? So, does this mean that you should also be using var because Kyle Simpson is using var? Absolutely not. That's the whole point. The whole point is to not give a shit if somebody is using something. You should use common sense. If you need a use case for using var over let or const, whatever, use it, right? If you don't use it. Like, this is not a competition. Programming is not competition, just as the language that I speak now, English, is not competition, right? We're not competing against. Those are just tools that you should use to build some crap and hope that somebody is going to use it, right? Exactly. Pretty much, just make it work, 100%, right? So let's not obsess. The thing is, what are you going to use? Nobody gives a fuck, right? I'm sorry to use this words. It's just, thank you very much for the follow, right? So just use whatever you need, and what someone says, is it Kyle Simpson, the god of JavaScript, or is it some asshole like me who has 40 people watching him? Who cares, right? Like, it's just ridiculous, right? If you don't waste your time on this sort of stuff, right? Don't waste your time on this sort of stuff, right? It's right? Nobody cares, right? Wait a minute. What the fuck is this guy doing? Am I in the right context? The hell is this? This guy is a bit drunk, but it's okay, right? Okay, so let's go. So what did we include now? So let's go and update this manually, whatever. So now we have the get course, right? Let's go to the router, right? So get course, let's find it here. Yeah, so get course schema, right? So we need to update this fella, right? So it's no longer just returning students and ratings, right? Now it's suddenly returning also, what did we say that it's actually returning? So if we get over here, so now it's returning a sections, so an array of sections, and each section has an array of lectures. So we have to represent that in the schema, right? So here we have to say sections, right? And this is where this amazing AI comes to hand. Hell yeah, beautiful. Oh, so nice. Oh yes, perfect. Amazing. Is there like image URL or something? Yeah, so this is the properties of that, so we can just grab them, right? It doesn't really matter. Where were we, right? Properties, beautiful. Do we have a typo of some sort? Yeah, we do. Probably missing a bracket or something, right? Let's see. Still okay. Okay, are we? Is this okay? Good. There we go. Is my data safe in your software? Website design. That's a very. I'm not sure what you mean website design, right? No data is absolutely free. So if somebody hacks us, you know, then it's not free. It's not safe, right? So it's a good question, but I'm not sure. You need to be a bit more specific. What do you mean? Is it safe, right? Leo, thank you very much, man. Have a great night, and thank you for being. Thank you for your support, man. Okay, this is good, right? So let's assume now that this kind of works, right? I mean, safety is a relative thing. That's like saying, am I safe walking on a sideway? Well, you are, but one day in your life there might be a guy who might get drunk and kill you on that sideway, right? So everything is relative, nothing is absolute, right? So yes, it's safe until it's no longer safe. So it's like, it's the same with, you know, I mean, unicorn companies worth hundreds of billions of dollars are getting hacked and their data is getting, you know, revealed. So I cannot claim that anything is absolute. I cannot tell you, oh yeah, if you sign up, you know, it's absolute. Nothing is absolute, right? So the most accurate question is like, it's safe as much as it's safe elsewhere, right? But is it absolutely safe? Of course not. I mean, claiming that would be a lie, right? And I don't want to lie, right? The extension is called Thunder Client, right? I suggest you, I suggest you to watch my YouTube video on some of those extensions, right? Let me actually find it. I really suggest you to do that. So if I go to content, I suggest you to watch, I'm gonna share this with you anyway now, but I just suggest you watch this if you... But the this is the extension, Thunder Client, right? Let me just send it here, right? All right, cool. Okay, good. My pleasure, my dude. My pleasure. Thank you for asking. Okay, that's pretty good, right? Now, let's test this first. So let's actually go to our Thunder client, right? And yeah, let's test it out, right? So let's open Thunder client. Let's resize this so you poor souls can actually see it. So let's create so we have a course. Okay, so let's add a section to a course with an ID of 1. So let's or to a course of ID 8. Okay, so we created a 2 or 3 section. Yes, correct, yes. So we created 3 sections in a course of ID 8. Let's now create few lectures as well to the course of ID of 8. So where's our lectures? Lectures over here. So create a lecture, courses 8. All right, so now let's try to get a course. So let's go to Thunder again, right? And let's get a course by ID of 8. Element has to be either a model, an association, or an object. Okay, well, good in a way that at least we get an error. So let's see, include models.lecture, models. Okay, so we're missing here course section and then course lecture, right? So that's what we're kind of missing. Okay, let's try to get that course again. Well, students ratings. Okay, so I don't see anything else that we're getting, right? So I would expect to get, so let's take a look at the, so we do have sections or ratings. So we did extend this get course schema, yes. 200, yes. So we did extend it with sections, and then inside of the sections we have lectures, right? So that's fine. That's kind of okay, right? But so let's see, get courses, and that's also okay. We don't need that. Just give me 2 seconds. Let's just go to the database view here. So let's see, we have sections. So we created the sections, 3 sections for the course ID of 8, so that's correct. And then we've created some lectures, right? And we've created the lectures for the course section ID of 1. Give me 1 second. Yeah, course. No, so it's fine. So yeah, so this section belongs to so it's okay, right? So it's just, so the section belongs to a course, and a lecture belongs to a section. So that's kind of fine, right? And then this guy belongs to, yeah. Wait, I just need to look at it once more. So course lecture. So course section ID. Course section ID, yes. And then if we take a look at the sections, course section is 1. And this section belongs to a course ID of 8. And that's basically this one, right? Yeah, correct. Okay, good. So technically, yeah, this should be returning something. Let me do one thing. So let me print this as well. So just so we take a look at that. So let's do this and let's print it. Ah, I see. Okay. It's because we're not aliasing anything. Sure, let me try one thing. So can I go over here? And can I say as sections, and then here we can say as lectures, right? And then we get here and we try it. Okay, I see. All right, it's completely perfect. It's completely fine. I get it. Okay. We just need to kind of, yeah, we need to update our schema, right? So if we go here, it's fine. We need to just call this, we need to call it course sections, and then course lectures, right? And now we should be seeing some output, at least, I think. George, good evening, my friend. Good evening. And let me just see. Ah, okay. Shit. My bad. And that's what I dislike, but at least let's try. So course lectures, it's basically like this, and then course sections. And yeah, so now we get it, right? So we get all the sections, and then inside of the sections we're getting the lectures for each section, right? So that's great. That's pretty good. I see. Okay, well, you know what? It's fine, right? I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. I'm gonna rename this off stream. For now, I just care, are we actually getting what we want? Yes, great. Thank you very much, guys, for your follows. Highly appreciated. And I hope you're enjoying the stream. Awesome. Thank you. So that is great, right? So that is good. That is great. I like that, right? So now we actually have that. So now actually if we go to our UI, so let's get back to let's get back to actually building the app, right? So we did those slight modifications. So if we go actually to the dashboard and bookmarks, sorry, courses, right? So if we go inside of here, right, we can actually most likely see that we are actually getting all of that with the respective associations as well, right? So if I go back here, we're fetching only my courses by my username, and then we can see, hopefully, well, actually, no, not really, no. We'll need to probably update, yeah. So no, actually this is fine, right? So we don't want to be doing joins here. So inside of this view, we want to just do a single fetch and get the course names and stuff, so that's great. Now when you click on a thing, right, that's when we want to do this. And also, yeah, exactly. So when you get in here, it's actually no longer sufficient. So all of this history of HTML5 history state that I was actually showing you is kind of useless, because we still need the rest of the associations, right? So when you actually open the course, we will need to fetch it. So to reduce some complexity here, right, we will actually get rid of that state, because I don't want to be dealing with that cache, right? Because it's not sufficient anyway, right? So I'm just going to get rid of that. We will still be navigated from here, and then, well, if we go to that creation handle create, right, we actually don't need to pass this along anymore, because again, it's not really sufficient for anything, right? Okay, great. And then, so essentially, yeah, so from here as well, we're gonna kind of get rid of some of those statements, right? And when you get to this point here, so we're gonna just do a call to and get that course, right? So, okay. So in here, we're gonna actually have use params, right? I think, so let's say params, and we're gonna say, hey, I wanna use params, and we just wanna read the URL parameters and get the ID of a course, right? I guess. So let's just say that, yeah, we'll see about that in a second, right? So let's just print the params, right? Yeah. So let's just, when we get to this view, let's say, hey, what are the actual params? And now we're infinitely spinning, but that's okay. So we have the course ID, right? So we're gonna have this effect that's gonna listen to that. So we're gonna say params.course ID. And yeah, whenever this changes, we wanna fetch, right? So we're gonna say, you know, let's create a handler here. Let's say get course. Oops. And then we obviously gonna copy paste something that already exists. We're not gonna be reinventing the wheel. So let's just make this a singular. Set loading course, right? So we do this. That course, actually even toaster is fine, so let's implement that from our library here. Let's import the request as well. This request is the abstraction I wrote over Axios, so let's, where is it? This guy, yeah. Let's make it a lowercase r, actually no. Let's do this, and then let's do that as well, right? And then here, instead of this, it's going to be v1 courses, and then it's going to be the course ID, right? So we're going to use this params course ID, right? And then we have fetch your course. Please try again. Yeah, that looks pretty good, right? And then let's say here get course, and then, well, yeah, that's fine, right? Great, so let's go to the browser. Let's see if this works or not, or if we forgot something. Yeah, it's exploding for some reason. Let's see. Must be integer, I see. Okay, so let's, it's complaining about the type, right? Ah, because we have this extra bracket in here that's messing it up. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so that's good now, and I can see that we are actually getting a course by the ID. Beautiful. Now let's go back to, we'll need to, obviously, that's what we're doing in today's stream. We're building the UI. Is this the number 7 or number 8? Let me see. So 7, I want to get the number, I want to get this guy. Okay, so this one should, I hope. So here it is. We have course sections, and then we have course lectures, right? And that's kind of what we will want to represent in this left sidebar, right? Okay, great. Perfect. Okay, good. Yeah. So let's kind of get started with that. So let's imagine that we're gonna create the empty view later. So now what we can do, we can render it and show it here, right? So what I'm actually gonna do is gonna be something to help ourselves, so we don't waste time and reinvent the. Tim, thank you very much for the follow. So what I'm gonna actually do, I'm gonna give this thing. I'm gonna copy this object. I'm gonna go to ChatGPT and I'm gonna say, hey, I'm building a course view. Tim, thank you very much, man. Happy that you enjoy it. I'm building a course view in my React app for the courses feature we are doing. Given the data that I gave you, please generate a React component, which is a UL of sections and then lectures nested inside each respectful section, right? So this is what AI is amazing for, right? Like, I don't want to be spending now 20 minutes building some recursive bullshit, right, that I've done past 15 years 7 billion times. I'm gonna use this and I'm gonna say, hey, take this data structure and then build me a generic UL, right? And I'm pretty sure that's what it's gonna do, right? And this is pretty much what I need, right? I'm not gonna be, right? Exactly, right? This is pretty much what I want. So if you're not doing this, you are shooting yourself in the face, not in your knee, right? Wait, I'm sorry, I missed to tell you some information. I need just the section name and lecture name inside of each section. Lectures will be linkable, and once clicked, they will show the rest of the content in the right side. So in simple words, generate this as a side menu that users will click on to see more information for each lecture. So you see, this is a great example of not priming, this concept of priming the ChatGPT, right? Some people say, oh my god, it gave me, inaccurate answer. You can see this was a great example of how not to use ChatGPT, right? I didn't give it enough of context, and then of course it cannot assume what I want. It's not magic, it's just text matching, right? So as few days ago I said on Programmer Network Discord, someone was saying, oh, you should not trust, ChatGPT. That's only true if your input to it is shitty. So for example, if you come to me as a person and try to ask me something with very poor choice of words, and I don't have no idea what you try to say, then I will also, as a human being, have no idea how to respond to you, right? So just as you have to elaborate things to a human being, I mean, you cannot expect that you can do less with a freaking text matching thing, right? So be careful about be careful what you expect from this base, right? Yeah, exactly. Like, just create me. Yeah, exactly. I mean, people really, yeah. Okay, great. So it generated something for me, and I'm grateful to it, because otherwise I would have to spend and waste my time on generating something that I've done 7 trillion times, right? So yeah, so we loop through basically, let's see, get the course. So we're gonna set the course here, right? So we're gonna say, is loading course. Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna say here course dot well, this wasn't completely useful, but let's see. And let's kind of, no, that's, what did I do? kind of, it was a bad copy paste, was it? So let's literally just do this, right? And then we're gonna work from there, right? Just so we can save a bit of time on boilerplate useless stuff, right? So let's do this. Again, whenever you're building any product, right, you need to break it down for yourself. So when do you do the design part? When do you waste time with details? So we are now building courses functionality. Like, we want to make sure that we can click around, everything works. You can create your course, you can create your sections, you can create your lectures, you can drag and drop them. When we arrive to the point of worrying about how things look like, we have done the hard work. Now, putting borders, colors, margins, paddings, that's the easy stuff. So everything is technically easy. It's just that you need to break it down for yourself, so you don't try to solve too many problems at once. Technically, you should not be solving more than one problem at once anyway. Jace, my faithful follower, good evening. And I don't know why is it actually, this is not course sections, right? So something like that, right? So if we go kind of here right now, let's see. So you can see it kind of does work, right? So we have section 0, and then we have lectures, right? Now, the only thing, I thought that we had multiple sections, but no, I think we only have one section that has lectures, I think. So we have multiple sections, right? Which is good. This is a great test, but only one has lectures. This is perfect. So okay, let's start kind of now, kind of fiddling with it. And you can see almost that functionality is kind of there. So as I click, you can see it's kind of, okay, great. Okay, beautiful. So, so what do we want to do? Well, yeah, we can keep that in a nav and all of that stuff, right? I think the only thing that we actually have to do is something like this, right? So we have a flex container, right? And then as I click, right, we should be seeing the content there, and we do, right? That's great. We have this huge gap. We don't really need that, right? Again, we don't care about how perfect things look like right now. Let's just see why is this. I just want to make sure that at least it's easy. Okay. So we have the justify between, right? That's why. Okay, fair enough. So let's actually say this. And then let's just remove justify between for now, right? We're going to be doing colors and that stuff eventually, right? Okay, so now we can see that as I click. Okay, let's now kind of make it more apparent that each course, each section itself should have some sort of indentation, right? So let's say here, let's say padding left maybe 6, right? Or something like that. We'll see, right? Just so there's a clear separation between the section and then, yeah. And actually section name here is string. So this is a bit misleading. Let's go back to our API, right? Let's go a bit to the API. Let's create another course, right? So let's create a new course here. And this course has an ID of 9. So let's create a section inside it, but with a bit better name. So let's say section is introduction, right? And then let's say here, introduction to, I don't know, JavaScript, right? Now we have a course of ID 9 and we have a section of ID of 4. So let's create some lectures, right? So if we go to our Thunder client here, and I've kind of extended this so you guys can see it. So create lecture, right? So we're going to create a lecture for the course of ID 9 and for the section of ID 4. And here, let's say title, this is just one lecture. Content, well, tip tab content will be here. And then let's say here this is Sparta, right? Right. And then we do this, right? So that's great. Now if we go back to the UI, right? Courses feature JS, right? So we should see another course here, right? I guess not that one, and we should have actually given our course a more descriptive name. But as you can see now, we actually get section 0, introduction, and then... So what I'm gonna do, just so we can actually better play with this stuff, I'm just gonna create another section, right? You know, let's say data structures, right? Just so we can have, and this one is not going to have lectures yet. And then here we're going to say, you know, let's say functions, intro to functions, right? So let's say here, learn how functions in JavaScript work, right? Something like that, right? So now if we go back to the UI, we should see those things. So we can see that first section has 2 lectures, right? And then those 2 sections don't have any lectures, right? Okay, great. So now we can fiddle with more things. So let's get back to the UI, right? And let's +1 the order, because our sections start from 0. So let's say +1. So section 1 introduction, section whatever, right? Actually, what the hell did I do? And this is the order, right? Okay, I see. Let's just say here section. And actually, we don't really need the section. So let's just say the section name, right? So introduction, data structures, la la la. Okay, great. And then we can see already as we're clicking here, we are seeing some UI. If we actually go to, what's it called? Our draw.io, right? So our eventual plan in a couple of streams, so probably maybe 2 more streams, we should get close to finishing this. But essentially, right, we want to get somewhere to this point, right? So, you know, you come, we show the first lecture of that course, of that section as well. There's going to be a video and some text and la la la. And then as you go along, right, so it's the familiar UI that you must have seen when it got in Udemy and various other platforms, right? Okay, so let's kind of just play a bit with some stuff, right? So we have a section title, that's fine. So here we can say, you know, okay, class name, you know, font bold or whatever, just so we can differentiate it a bit, right? We can come to the whole thing, I guess, and we can say leading. Was it leading or what was it? Line height, yeah. So let's give it a bit of a line height, like something a bit bigger, right? No, that's not. Let's say 8. That's 32. Yeah, that's not too bad, right? That's not too bad. And then probably, like, we're doing this slowly, but step by step we're kind of getting closer and closer, right? And keep in mind, actually this is we're in the context of the dashboard here, not the actual view where the user is actually watching the course. So I almost forgot about that, right? So we are in the editing state here. So every time actually you click on this lecture, I will want you to see the inputs here instead. So right, so here you're in the editing mode, not in the viewers mode, right? So when you come to, so basically this is going to be the dashboard for creating courses. So you come here and you want to edit or create or extend your course, right? So when you click here, you're going to be clicking here and then you're going to be able to edit those things. So this is pretty much what we actually have to do now, right? We have to bind, or to say map, each one of those things here with corresponding form or the input, right? Yeah, exactly, right? So essentially what we're gonna do as well, right, is when you hover over like sections, for example, you're gonna get like an edit button, and then maybe we can like edit that stuff there. I don't actually know. Or maybe we should make it so even those things are clickable. So when you click on a section, yeah, I think we're gonna do that as well, right? So we actually gonna say, you know, so let's kind of start preparing that. Let's try to do as much as we can today, right? So essentially here, right, when you click on this, we want to make sure, so on click, you know, we want to say, handle let's create those event handlers, right? And then we're gonna deal with them. So let's say const yep, and then we're gonna do the same handle lecture click, right? Yeah, exactly, right? And then when you click on a specific lecture, right, we're gonna pretty much do the same, right? Okay, interesting. Handle lecture click. Oh, actually, I had that already. Interesting. Okay, good. And then, well, technically, yeah, we want to do the same here. So we want to create an anonymous function, or we can just create a yeah, whatever, right? We can create a higher order function or whatever, but it doesn't really matter, right? So we do this, right? And so how is this gonna work, if you wonder? Well, you know, every time, I guess, when we are inside of this dashboard, whenever you kind of click on any of those entities, what we actually want to do is we want to render the form with that corresponding type. So if you click on introduction here, you're gonna get a form here in the right that lets you edit that specific thing, etc., right? So pretty much, I think, like that, right? So let's see, when I click introduction, right, we get like the title, the order. We are missing description here though, I think, but it doesn't really matter. And then, you know, as you click on the lectures, you're gonna be able to edit the lectures as well, right? So I like that UI. I think it's super intuitive and easy. So it's gonna be pretty easy to edit the courses that you write, right? So let's implement some of that a bit. Again, don't care about perfection or style, we just care about... Okay, so let's have a function that's gonna... So let's have some function that's gonna be responsible based on the type to return the specific edit form that you want. And then we're gonna need the creation, of course, part as well. And actually, let's create the creation part first. So my idea, right, is that... Let me zoom in. That below each of the type you have a plus button. So at the end of every lecture there should be like a plus icon that you can add an additional lecture to that section, and then at the end of every section there should be a plus to add a new section. So let's kind of implement that, right? So where are we looping over the sections? So over here, right? So technically here we should have a list item that says add section. Let's just hard code the text, and then we're gonna add an icon and corresponding action. And then over here we should just have, outside of the loop, we should have add lecture, right? And as you can see, yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted, right? So exactly, so it's kind of localized to that specific lecture or that specific section or course, right? Okay, great. So let's kind of, do we have some sort of add icon or whatever? Add, yeah, we have some sort of add icon. Let's see what it is. Namari, good evening, my friend. And let's say class name is width of 12, right? Yeah, that's humongous, but it's also because I zoomed in. Yeah, but that's still pretty huge. Yeah, cool. Do you plan video platform for what type of video platform? Tell me more about it. What do you have in mind? Thank you very much for the follow, Jonathan. Yes, I mean, this courses feature that we're building now, it's gonna be something like that. Yes, but I mean, that's just one of the features, right? A lecture is just a part of the section. So when you have a course, just like on Udemy, pretty much like on Udemy, right? You know, you break your course into different sections, right? All right, great. Yeah, but we definitely gonna have that. Yes, for sure. Exactly. Thank you very much, man. It is. I think it's gonna be nice. I'm gonna start actually myself with the first courses, right? Because you know, when we release this feature, there's not gonna be any course. It's gonna be empty. So I'll have to spend some time and I'll have to spend some time and you know, build those courses myself, right? Until people, you know, other people start writing them and stuff like that, right? So I have already Fastify JS course in the works. Wonder actually if this is even needed. Let me just double check one thing. Yeah, I dislike it a lot. I dislike it a lot. But again, let's not get lost in the details, because you know, devil is in the details, right? Even though that quote makes no sense in this context now, but anyway, that's how it is. Check in, please. Little Leon. Good evening, my friend. Let me just put in some water. Give me 1 second. This is just one lecture. This is part of, all right. I don't know if we're gonna need those kind of I don't know if we're gonna need those numbers, but all of those are details that we can add whenever we want. For now, I'm just gonna remove them so they don't distract me. So I don't want to be looking at too many things, right? So let's just get rid of. Let's work with simple things. Thank you very much, man. You should come and sit here with me in the office while I stream. You guys should come and visit us as soon as possible. As soon as possible. What the fuck is this, man? Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so I mean, yeah, let's leave it, right? This is not really clear, right? That you know, it's not quite clear, right? What is this representing now? So let's just say add lecture. Actually, no, wait. Add lecture. Add section. Just so it's kind of a bit clear, at least. Bitfrost AI. I have not heard about that. No, no Nominex. What is it? Okay, so that's not horrible, right? That's not completely disgusting, right? Definitely not disgusting completely. Let's try text grade 600, right? Yeah, that's not completely horrible. Definitely not too disgusting, right? And let's just say here cursor pointer, right? Cursor pointer. Again, we don't care about details too much. You can stay in. Actually, that sounds absolutely amazing. I mean, yeah, that actually I don't know. Yeah, that's amazing, man. Actually, did I hear about this? I copy pasted what you wrote. Wait a minute, Bifrost. Yeah. Oh, no, this one maybe. Oh my God. Nice.
Hi, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Bifrost.
Jesus Christ, man. Yes, let's go. Let's go.
And you just have this new screen which has a lot more design components. Also,
I mean, we must use this. I did not, Jace. No, I did not. No. No, okay, no, sorry. No, I mean, this is in the alpha. I don't have the time to give them feedback, right? So, and until I see this actually doing what it claims to be doing, I cannot trust it, right? Because it claims that it's clean React code, right? I hope this is true, but until I see it, I haven't seen any of that yet. So if this is true, then it's definitely worth it, right? Potato Chips, man, thank you very much for being around, and I'm happy to hear that you fixed that, and come around whenever you have the time, man. I mean, let's see, right? Let's see. I mean, I'll definitely bookmark this. There's no question about that, and I hope to some extent that it's right. But I don't know. Let's see. I mean, we need to see this in more complicated scenarios, right? We need to see this in more complicated scenarios, but I mean, Y Combinator and stuff, it looks very promising. When I see Y Combinator, right, then it's probably good shit, because that Y Combinator has, you know, like, I don't know, 30 unicorns came out of Y Combinator, right? So it's yeah. But until it comes, let's see. I'm gonna be skeptical until I actually see it, right? I don't trust anything anymore, right? So until I see it, I don't trust it. Okay, actually now when we landed here, I think we have the layout that I like. So this dashboard, pretty much Numinix, exactly, pretty much. So I actually like where we landed. So I think the courses dashboard is going to be pretty good. Why is it going to be good? Is because it's going to be super simple. So essentially the way that we're going to be making courses, like, and editing them, and we're going to do that now before we round up the stream for today, but you're going to have this sidebar menu. You will know, okay, I want to add lecture where. Well, it's going to be localized to that specific section already for you. When you click on the existing items, we're going to render the form now here. So I think it's super simple. You are in this same almost view as the kind of standard kind of regular user view. The only difference really is that you're going to be in the editing mode or the creation mode, and people who are going to be eventually going to the course, to the other view, we're not dealing with the UI yet. This is just functionality. So we don't know how this is going to look like. I'm just talking about the layout, right? This is clearly, we're not yet at the place, Tim, where we're talking about how things look like. This is we're just building a functionality now, right? And of course now, right, as you click around, so let's kind of do that as well. So let's get rid of all of this garbage, right? So and then we're gonna have to actually make this to be drag and drop, so you should be able to order those differently, right? Okay, so let's use our inputs. So let's say input, right? And then name, title. What else? Name, title, value. This, right? Order, we're gonna leave that out, obviously. Then this is gonna be tip tap, but for now I'm just gonna say text area just for the demo, right? And also we're gonna say name, content value is content, right? We're gonna have video URL, and it's gonna be video URL. And then lastly, we're gonna have image URL, and that's also gonna be image URL there. And then we're gonna get rid of all of that gibberish, right? And now basically as we click around, right, we're gonna be seeing the forms which are gonna be eventually used for editing, right? So, okay, let's kind of get in here. Let's say flex with the full, right? And yeah, flex call gap 4 maybe, right? Yeah, so now as you're gonna be clicking through them, right? So that's gonna be the layout, right? You're gonna be kind of getting that and to the point where you can just edit them and then obviously save them, right? So we're gonna need this. We're just preparing maybe for the next stream, so we can kind of And then eventually again we're gonna have a button that says save, right? Yeah, that's definitely I think we landed at the spot where I like the layout, where I like where things are gonna be located, right? We need to implement drag and drop for those, so you can kind of reorder your lectures and stuff, right? Thank you very much, Char, for your follow, dude. Appreciate it. Ah, shit, that's the wrong one. My bad. My bad. Yeah, exactly, right? But that's good. Then also when you click add lecture, this form should obviously turn into a creation one and also respectful for the add section one as well, right? So that's definitely going to be the layout. So next thing we'll need to do, and we're going to do that tomorrow. I don't have the strength. I have to go to work tomorrow and stuff. But and it's kind of 11 p.m. here. But generally, yeah, that's good. That is pretty good. I'm actually happy where we landed. So we kind of boilerplated a lot of that stuff. So we have the routes, we have the courses view. So we're going to design this obviously at the end. Clearly, it's going to look amazing like the rest of the stuff. But for now, that's kind of what we have. And yeah, so you can see kind of as you get into your courses, you're going to be managing them and stuff. And yeah, this one has no section, so this view is gonna look a bit different. So we'll have to cover all of the cases, like how does this look like when there's actually no sections and stuff. It's now awesome. Good evening, man. Pozdrav. Okay, great. So that's great, right? That's actually good. Actually, did any of you sign up today while I was streaming? Actually, so one person signed up. Well, if you want to obviously test this platform, please sign up on programmer.network. Only one of you signed up this stream. That's quite disappointing, I must admit. So if you have 2 seconds, just just go in and sign up there, right? At least book your slug or usernames. You never know. Maybe this platform becomes something one day. Maybe it doesn't, right? But either way, all right, great. So good. So I like that. I'm actually happy with where we landed. That's super simple. The main reason why I'm again happy is that it's really simple, and simplicity is the hardest thing to achieve, right? to make things super intuitive. And I think this is, you open your course, you see all of the stuff, you edit them, change the links, change the content. This is going to be a rich text tip tab eventually, like tomorrow we're going to do that. We obviously need la la la. And then this is going to be either lecture or something else, we'll see. And let me just kind of do a bit of stuff. Label, title, just some stuff for tomorrow. Label, title, video URL. And then lastly, right, we're gonna have label content, right? Yeah, Kingdom of Origin. Why curiosity is lowercase? That's how it is. I can't do anything about the email, right? That's just how it is. That's how it is. Okay, what did I want to do? Oh, yeah. So we can actually get rid of this crap, right? Yeah. And let's just do one thing before we round up for today, right? So we're gonna say Gmail super mission. Exactly. Fucking assholes, man. Like seriously, literally zero reason to put right. Tim, depends where you are, man, right? I don't know where you live. Salary is always, the question of salary is very relative, right? People, you know, for example, talk about salaries in the Silicon Valley or here in Copenhagen where I am, but they never have the context of the living costs in Copenhagen or in, I don't know, Palo Alto or something. So salary is always bound to the living costs. So, you know, so it's in simple words, it's mostly meaningless, right? I mean, salaries of developers are generally high. There's no question about that. But when you hear that somebody in Silicon Valley, I don't know, is making 300,000 and then I'm making maybe 100,000 myself here in Copenhagen, you're like, oh my God, that guy is making 3 times the money than you. But that's not true, because half of that money he pays for rent and then other half goes to taxes, right? Etc., etc. So salary is always a matter of relativity at the, you know, it's right. So salary is like, where do you live, what are the living costs and stuff, and then your salary is going to be decided based on that, right? That's how it works. Okay, and then we'll eventually have to so let's just create that. So handle Portugal. It's going to be kind of adjusted based on how salaries are in Portugal, right? But again, it's not about how big your salary is, it's the value of that money, because numbers are just numbers, right? When you hear, you know, my salary here, you know, my salary maybe here in Denmark is like, you know, I don't know, 10,000 euros, right? You know, or brutto, right? But then I pay 40% tax, right, on that, and then I pay 2,500 euros for rent, right? So it's kind of, it's irrelevant, right? It's meaningless. It's meaningless to talk about salary without context and including the rest of the cost, right? Max, good evening, my friend. So this is basically what we're going to be kind of doing, and then based on what type you clicked, we're going to show a form and state based on that, right? So if you click on a lecture, like we're going to be showing the form to edit or if you click on a section, we're going to be showing the form to edit section. If you click on a lecture, if you click ads, so basically we're going to have centralized place. I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm too bored now. But we're going to centralize that here, and then tomorrow basically I think we can get the functionality almost there to some. I think tomorrow we can actually probably finalize the functionality itself. for the most part. Maybe tomorrow and then maybe one additional stream, and then we're gonna focus on making things look nice and stuff, and then obviously making the courses page. We'll need a courses page somewhere. We'll maybe need to extend this nav bar, right? But that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's good. That's good. Well, okay. Let me just put the full camera here. I need to go, guys. I need to see my wife a bit. We need to order something from Amazon. I know that she was asking me to do something. So what is to say? Many of you here have been new to the stream. I stream almost every night unless I'm tired or I have something better to do. So if you're around, obviously come around. I also have a YouTube channel that I started recently, right? So if you want to take a look at that, if you don't, I don't care. It's up to you, right? But I have a YouTube channel that maybe you find something interesting. It's fairly new. I made it like a week or two ago, and I made some videos. Videos are pretty fine. I mean, I talk about various subjects, and you know, videos basically they look like this. This is the recent video I recorded. I just talk from my living room and stuff. So if you enjoy this sort of format of videos and stuff, I think you're gonna like the channel. I speak about various types of things purely based on experience. You know, I work as a tech lead, so I think you can learn some things there about not just programming and hard skills, but also about soft skills, about what it actually means to be a software engineer in general, right? So there are a few videos. I mean, again, I started this thing like a few days ago, but there are a few subjects there that you might like, right? So take a look at that if you want. And of course, if you wish, you can join our Discord as well. And yeah, apart from that, yeah, sorry. Let me send you the actual programming network link. Yeah, and yeah, what is to say? I mean, I'm gonna stream tomorrow again. If you guys are around, just come around. Let's hang out. If not, come whenever you can. And Jace, you too. Have a good night. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking around the whole stream. I think it's been a 2.5 hour stream, and that's generally I stream from like 2.5, 3 hours, right? So Numinex, thank you very much, man, for coming by. Max and the rest of you, have a great night, and take care of yourselves.